What has been up with you, man, since Identity Crisis dropped?
Yeah, what's been up with me? Man, since the album dropped in May of '09. The last half of last year was promotion of that. It was going on the tour, and then from the tour going to do my own thing for a season, and then doing a fall tour that with Lecrae with with a group of bands, After Edmund and Mike's Chair, and then from there. Taking time off. My wife gave birth to our son, Jaden. My beautiful wife, Danielle, is a soldier boy. I thought I loved her, but I mean, I love you even more now. I knew I loved her, but now it's like amazing what you were able to do, what God's blessed you to do. So taking care of the family has been the first half of this year, seriously. Took time away from music, stepped away from any type of public platform, and we just kind of solidified our role within our local church. Like, we transitioned to a new church a month before our son was born, and so solidifying our role within that church as far as just servants and just those that would make ourselves available within the home, fighting to have a deeper relationship with my wife. I know when kids come into the picture, some people will say the father feels like the wife is shunning him because all her attention goes to the kid, and then some people say, well, the mother may go through a season of depression, so forth and so on. So just with prayer and with an attentiveness that's demanded of me through Scripture, man, I just wanted to make sure my household was healthy. And then from there, this summertime has been really just getting back on the grind and promoting the album still. I feel like the message is still relevant, and then also kind of gearing up for some things that's coming up with Reach, like the fall tour that we're doing, so called the Unashamed Tour. Definitely more of a platform of going deeper into what that looks like, not just a rally behind a particular banner of being unashamed, but more pinpointing on what brought us to a place of being unashamed. So for me, part of that is service, being servanthood, being a servant. And so I want to make sure I kind of convey us as ministers are called servant leaders in the Scriptures for a reason. We're called to be just as active within the body as those who may be stacking chairs, cleaning bathrooms, working in the nursery, whatever. We're all servants at the end of the day.
Now, speaking of things that has been going on with you, you dropped a ton of weight, man. Like, congratulations. Whatever you were doing was working.
That's what's up.
Can you give us any insight into the T.Dot diet plan?
T.Dot diet plan. I like that. I'm going to have to work on that. Yeah, honestly, man, if I can just be transparent, like my wife gave birth to our son, and I looked at this little dude and I was like, man, you are going to grow up, and whether you play sports or you do academic stuff, at some way or another you're going to want something from me that'll demand more than what I'm physically probably able to give you now, even if it means just walking and holding you because you don't want to be in the stroller. Like, you know, that coupled with wanting to be a good steward of the ministry God's given me. It's hard to get on stage and be up there for an hour and get winded after every song. And so I was like, God, I need to be a better steward of what you've allowed me to do, and I also want to be a servant to my son, to my wife. Of course, though I was still considered healthy by physicians, even at the size that I was, my wife was fearful that health would be an issue over time. So those three things really did drive me to go, okay, God, let me get into this. Let me start working out. I mean, prior to doing music and really kind of having people notice who I was, like I was a fit 230. Like, that was me. You know, played football. I was always in the gym. But there was just a season of life where I was like, man, this is old. I'm sick of being that guy. Plus, you know, when you're single, I mean, if you're really honest, most of us working out because we want to get noticed. And so for me, that was an idol I had to kill. But in the process, a new one came up. And so I had to deal with that as well. So beyond the motivation behind it, man, a lot of it has been diet and cardio. Like, doctors say it, and health enthusiasts say it, and you know, cats always give you that same line, man, eat right, go do some cardio 30 minutes a day. And I was like, whatever, you know, I know how to work out, I played ball or whatever, but the motivation wasn't there. So similar to anything else, as a believer, I found some community within wanting to get fit. A brother who's a trainer, another brother who is an ex-athlete, and we all got together. And so starting in January 5th, I started hitting the gym hard. I mean, 4 hours a day hard. And so it was most of my time while I was off. When I wasn't at home serving with my wife, I was serving her by going to the gym. And now 4 hours wasn't like activity every minute of those 4 hours, it would just be an hour and a half recovery after I got beat up in the gym for 2 hours. So it was really a long process. So from now until, from then until now, the time in the gym has varied, but it's really been just diet and cardio. I actually started a blog spot. I never blog. I'm not that dude, but cats are wanting to get me more into that. And so the guys who I actually work out with started a blog site called Blackjack Drop. And so, because the goal is to, within each segment of the diet, to drop 21 pounds. And so I guess in blackjack, the game is 21. I just learned that. So for me, it was like, why are you calling it that? And it was like, oh, because of this, and this, the game. And so I think it's WordPress or something. We go and write up stuff just to help other people learn about it. Within identity crisis, man, my wife is really keen into the struggles that women have with image, with whatever America tells you have to be. And like, I'm half Samoan, and then we go to my Polynesian family, and all of them are like, oh my God, sweetie, you're so little. And she's like, no, I'm not, because I'm not an average size American woman. And then come to find out, yes, you are an average size American woman. And you know, it's just a big wrestle with women, with image and identity, and the whole struggle with what people tell you should be. And then as a man, I had the privilege to go to Italy last year and go to Rome, and we went to the Vatican, and I got to look at statues and different artwork throughout history, but I never saw a statue that was like me, like, you know, a brother over 300 standing there holding an arrow. Every one of them was like 180, 5'10", chiseled abs, you know, pecs and the whole nine. And I was like, man, there's something about culture in general that idolizes particular looks that they call beautiful. I want to eradicate and dispel that, but also help people notice you're still unhealthy. Even if you're fighting against the grain and saying, I don't have to be the model, you still need to be concerned with health. And I think at the end of the day, it all points back to stewardship, you know, and that's what led me to do it. It wasn't that I wanted to be more acceptable or I wanted to show off on stage and look a certain way. It really was, God, I want to be here for my son. I want to walk that brother. I want to be there to watch that brother walk down the aisle. I want to see him graduate. I want to see him do stuff that I won't be able to see if I don't start taking care of my health. I guess the last thing, honestly, was just the goals, just setting goals and trying to reach them. So the final goal is 230. Well before me, Cray, and Show started doing music, and we were just students doing college ministry. That's how they knew me. I was 230 and working out, hooping every day, whatever. And so the goal is to get back to 230. In January 5th, I was 380. And so right now I'm around 290. So I'm almost 100 lighter.
You have spent the last few years making quite a name for yourself doing feature appearances. And every single time you come mad hard. Okay. How do you keep your intensity up on each track you feature on? Okay.
How do I keep the intensity up on each feature that I do? One, I love the privilege of doing it. I feel like featuring someone, in a sense, is similar to co-laboring with them in ministry. And so I want to do a good job on behalf of the people who I'm doing stuff with. That really is personally a motivation of mine. So whether I'm like, there's a brother here in Chicago working with the Legacy named Decipher, who has an album out called Rep. And I did a song with him called I'm Not. Initially when I got the track, I was like, it's old school, I don't know if I like it. I called him, I was like, is that the track you really want to use? He was like, yes. I was like, okay, you sound really passionate, let me not ignore the passion. And I went back to the drawing board, and it took me like, where some features take me like an hour, that took me like 2 days, almost 4. Really almost 4 days, because it took 2 days to really kind of not be, I didn't want to just be general and go, I share the gospel, yeah. You know, I didn't want to be that dude for his album. And similar, like other features, I really want to sit and think outside the box and study within the topic, but outside the box of what they've done so far on the track. And then the other part of it is, I want to make people forget you were on the song when I do my verse. The healthy competition, if you will. Like, I really want people to go, that was such and such a song, but all I remember is your verse, you know, and not in an arrogant way, but really just to say that up front to them, to motivate them to, you know, raise the bar, so that at the end of the day, this is your song. I want you to know, I want to serve you well on your song, and then serve you on your own song. So it goes hand in hand. So God has been gracious to allow the healthy competition to push us to higher levels, and then ultimately to help me go, here's a way for me to keep the message that I want to share with people.
Rapzilla.com